Today I am finally coming back with another reading / storytime video, and for today's video I thought I would read Barbie and the Magic of Pegasus. I'm definitely in the mood for the Magic of Pegasus right now. I mean, well, I'm always in the mood for the Magic of Pegasus. It's always a good time to watch it, but I did recently just watch it for my birthday last week. It is my birthday movie. It's a little tradition that I made with myself every year to watch it. And I chose this one because it is also Annika's birthday in the movie, and it's set in the winter time, and my birthday is also in the winter since I live in Australia and June is winter time in Australia. So there's that. But also just because I love the general vibes of this movie and how it makes me feel, and just the general message that there is always hope, which is something that I love to be reminded of and reflect on every time I start a new year of my life. So that's why I've chosen to read it today, and I really do hope you'll enjoy it. I do recommend using headphones for this one, as the audio is a little bit too soft. I'm very sorry about that. I haven't got a lot of good editing software at the moment. Also, I did try adding a little bit of background sound to this one, just like some soft snowfall, wintry type sounds, specifically for this one. Just like kind of like a little ASMR type of thing. It's something that I'm thinking of doing for my future reading videos, so please do let me know if you like that kind of thing and if you want me to do it in my future reading videos. And yeah, okay, that's about everything. So without further ado, let's read Barbie Magic of Pegasus. Once upon a time, in a castle hidden away amid the tall, icy mountains, there lived a king and queen and their beautiful daughter, Annika. The king and queen worried about their daughter's safety, but they didn't know how brave the princess really was. On the morning of Annika's 16th birthday, the queen rushed into her bedroom excitedly. She was carrying a small gift box. "Happy birthday, Annika!" she cried. Then she stopped. "Annika?" The queen rang a bell, and in no time servants were scurrying around the castle in a panic. "The princess is missing! The princess is missing!" Outside the castle, Princess Annika had no idea what trouble she had caused. She was celebrating her birthday by skating daringly along a frozen riverbed. She jumped, spun in mid-air, and twirled down to the ground, landing perfectly on one of her jeweled ice skates. The princess didn't know she was being watched until a ledge of snow collapsed and a cute little polar bear came sliding towards her. Annika named the bear cub Shiver and decided to sneak her into the castle. But as she climbed the stairs, the princess heard a voice. "Annika, is that you?" cried the queen. Her parents rushed to her. "You're safe!" "I was just skating," answered Annika. "Why do you always worry so much? Nothing's going to happen to me." Just then, Shiver peeked out, and the princess scooped her up. "I met a friend," said Annika. The queen smiled and stepped forward to stroke Shiver. "I'm sorry," the king interrupted, "but it is our job to keep you safe, and there's only one way to do that. No more skating." Annika tried to argue, but she could see that it was useless. Reluctantly, she handed over her skates and ran upstairs. "I hate you!" she cried with tears in her eyes. Her parents looked at each other anxiously. Up in her room that night, the sound of music drifted through Annika's window. "Somebody's having fun on my birthday," she said. "Shiver, shall we go to a party?" Annika quickly found her skates, and they soon joined the party on the village pond. Suddenly, a strange wind rustled through the trees, and an eerie pink light colored the sky. A huge griffin flew down onto the ice, and a hideous wizard climbed down from its back, pink light streaming from his wand. The wizard walked up to Annika and smirked. Allow me to introduce myself. I'm Wenlock, your future husband. The king and queen had seen the strange light and rushed over at once. Leave her alone, cried the king. Maybe you've forgotten what happened to your other daughter, sneered the wizard. Annika was puzzled. Then Wenlock asked her to marry him. Of course not, she answered, horrified. The wizard was so furious he turned the king, the queen, and all the villagers into marble. Marry me and I'll set them free, sneered the wizard. I'll give you 3 days before my spell becomes unbreakable. Before Annika could answer, a winged horse swept her to safety. The horse flew up through the clouds to the Cloud Kingdom, where Annika met the beautiful Cloud Queen and her little princesses. We missed you, Brietta, cried Princess Rose. She turned to Annika and explained, We've never had a real person here before, except for your sister, Brietta. My sister? Asked Annika, confused. But she's a horse. So the Cloud Queen told Annika her family's sad story. On Brietta's 16th birthday, Wenlock appeared and demanded to marry her. The king and queen were devastated. Brietta couldn't bear to see them so unhappy, continued the Cloud Queen. So she left and found refuge with us. At last, Annika understood her parents' anxiety. I have to save them, she cried. Can you help me? The Cloud Queen looked sad. I have no powers over Wenlock. What about a wand of light? Asked Princess Rose. That has the most powerful magic of all. It's built from a measure of courage, a ring of love, and a gem of ice lit by hope's eternal flame, explained the Cloud Queen. Annika was determined to save her parents. I'm going to build a wand of light. Somehow, the Cloud Queen hung a crystal bell around Brietta's neck. I wish I could do more to help you, she said. Ring the bell if you need us. Brietta carried Annika and Shiver to the deepest, darkest part of the Forbidden Forest. The perfect place to find a measure of courage, Annika laughed nervously. The forest floor was covered with knotted tree roots and branches. Suddenly, Shiver tripped and tumbled helplessly into an icy gully. Annika and Brietta rushed to find her, but they found themselves caught in a trap and left dangling helplessly from the trees. They heard a sound coming towards them and held their breath. Through the darkness, a horse appeared. Its handsome rider climbed down and freed them with a swish of his sword. My name's Aiden, he said. But Annika was too worried about Shiver to talk to the handsome stranger. Without thinking, she slipped down into the gully, desperate to find her friend. Down, down she tumbled, landing in an enormous pot, where she found a delighted Shiver. But when she looked up, she saw a huge giant glaring at her menacingly. More lunch, boomed the giant. He was cutting up enormous vegetables and tossing them into the pot. Annika refused to give up. She called bravely to the giant. The Goliath down the road? He's a real giant, big and strong. Compared to him, you're just a weakling. The giant was furious, just as Annika had hoped. She realized that the giant was stupid and that she could escape by outwitting him. Clever Annika tricked the giant into chaining himself to a post. It was their chance to escape by climbing up the ribbon, and the giant was helpless to stop them. As Annika and Shiver ran, they met Aiden and Brietta coming to find them. As Annika told the story of their escape, she held up the ribbon. It's your exact height and measure, said Brietta, a measure of courage. The ribbon began to sparkle. Then it turned to solid silver. "A staff!" cried Annika. "For the wand of light!" Just as Aiden was turning to leave, Annika noticed his sword. "I made it myself," said Aiden. Annika was amazed. "When we have the 3 parts of the wand, we'll need somebody like you to put them together," she said. The 4 friends travelled on through the night until they arrived at a miserable shack. A shady gem dealer called Ferris lived inside. Annika told him that they were looking for a gem of ice lit by hope's eternal flame. Ferris gave her an old map that might help them in return for Annika's jeweled skates. They trudged through the snow for a long time before they realized the map was a fake. Reluctantly, they stopped for the night. The next morning, Annika and Aiden watched, amazed as beams of sunlight sparkled on the glacier ahead. "The gem is somewhere on top of that glacier!" cried Annika. Brietta carried them over the glacier and across a set of sparkling stones to a message carved in the ice. It was written in runes, but Aiden understood them. "Take only what you need, but never from greed," he read. Suddenly, the ground rumbled beneath them, and a secret passage opened up. Inside was a maze of tunnels. They followed a light to a huge cabin, where sunbeams shone in through a hole in the roof. Hundreds of diamonds glistened like stars before them. Annika reached to take one, and the ground rumbled gently beneath her. Aiden pulled the diamond from the wall, and the cabin rumbled again. "You can't be greedy," Annika reminded him. "I know," said Aiden. But Shiver was not so careful. She was busy collecting gems and didn't notice the cabin collapsing around her. Annika quickly snatched her up, and Brietta carried them to safety through the maze of icy tunnels. As Annika held the staff and the diamonds, they started to glow. "Look at them!" she cried. "Now all we need is the ring of love." Aiden hesitated. "Maybe I could forge one," he suggested. "Why didn't the cabin collapse when you picked the diamond?" she asked curiously. "It wasn't greed, so why did you need a diamond?" Aiden told Annika how he had once been very foolish. "My parents trusted me with all their savings, and I lost the money at cards. Maybe if I pay them back, they'll see me again." Now there was just one thing missing for them to complete the wand of light. Aiden needed metal to make the ring. Just then, Brietta dropped her crown at Aiden's feet. "The ring of love!" gasped Annika. "Nobody said the ring had to be for your finger." With the heat of the fire, Aiden forged the staff and crown together. He fixed the diamond in the crown. The wand of light was beautiful. Annika lifted the wand and whispered a wish. A cloud of sparkling magic dust surrounded Brietta. When it disappeared, the horse had gone, and Brietta was a beautiful girl of 16 once again. But there was just one problem. Brietta couldn't fly anymore. Brietta rang her crystal bell, and soon 2 beautiful winged horses swooped down to help them. The Cloud Queen had kept her promise. As Annika turned to say goodbye to Aiden, she gazed at the wand of light. "We wouldn't have this without you," she said gratefully. The sisters soared through the sky, but their happiness was not to last. Suddenly, Wenlock and his griffin appeared in front of them. "Strike her!" Wenlock cried, firing his mighty wand at Brietta and sending her tumbling into the snow. Annika was furious. She pointed the wand of light at Wenlock. "Destroy him!" she cried. But nothing happened. Instead, Wenlock flashed his wand at Annika, and the wand of light flew to him. With another flash of his wand, Wenlock split the ice beneath Annika's feet, and she slipped deep into the snow. Just as Shiver and Brietta began their search for Annika, Aiden returned. He found Annika and lifted her gently from the snow. Aiden took Annika to the Cloud Palace to recover. After a few days' rest, she was soon herself again. "I need to get to the Wand of Light before sunset," she said when she awoke. Brietta led Annika and Aiden to a secret ice tunnel. They pulled on some skates and were soon gliding through it. Aiden could skate just as well as Annika. The tunnel led them straight into Wenlock's palace. Inside, they saw Wenlock banging the Wand of Light to try to make it work. When nothing happened, he threw it away in disgust. Annika searched quietly for the wand while Aiden fought off the evil griffin. As she picked the wand up, the diamond fell out, but Aiden rushed to give her his own precious diamond. He was prepared to give it up for the love of Annika. Now Annika understood how to use the Wand of Light. Pointing it at Wenlock, she spoke without anger. "For the love of my family and my people, I ask you to break all of Wenlock's spells." Wenlock's wand exploded into fiery pieces. His griffin turned back into a scrawny cat, and Wenlock shrank into the miserable troll he really was. The spell was broken. Just before sunset, the king, the queen, and all the villagers started to move once more. The next day, Annika hugged her parents. "Are you ready for a surprise?" she smiled. The king and queen gasped in amazement as their lost daughter Brietta walked into the room. Later that same day, Aiden approached his father nervously. "Aiden! Oh, Aiden!" his father cried. "I hoped I'd see you again. I lost hope until," said Aiden, stretching his hand out to Annika. "Father, there's someone I'd like you to meet." High up in the Cloud Palace, Brietta gave the Cloud Queen the Wand of Light. "Will you keep this safe, Your Highness?" she asked. The Cloud Queen accepted the wand. "I'd be honored. It will be the first star in the sky every night, and a reflection of their love." And through the palace window, she and Brietta looked down to a couple skating gracefully on a magical cloud beneath them. Annika leaped into the air and Aiden caught her. As he lowered her gently onto the ice, Aiden twirled Annika close, and they gazed at each other lovingly. And that is Barbie and the Magic of Pegasus. I really like this book. It's very pretty. It's got some really pretty artwork in it. One thing I don't like about it is how they kind of skip through the story really quickly and take out a lot of the cool dialogue, especially with Aiden and such. But it is just a kid's book, so we can't expect much more than that. But it's still a very lovely book, and I love having it in my collection. Let me know if there's any other story time reading videos you would like me to make. I do still have a few more Barbie books that I haven't read yet, and plenty of Disney ones, of course. So yeah, let me know if you'd like me to make any more reading videos and what story you might like me to read next. And hopefully I'll be able to make another one very soon. Thank you all so much for watching this one, and I will see you in our next video. Peace.